You're listening to the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to make sure you get the latest episodes of the podcast. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page as well. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. On today's episode of the podcast, we review match number 19 of IPL 2021 between the Chennai Super Kings and the Royal Challengers Bangalore. It's the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast, and let's get started. Let's have a look at the match summary from Game 19 of IPL 2021 from Mumbai between the Chennai Super Kings and the Royal Challengers Bangalore. The Chennai Super Kings batted first and made 4 for 191 from their 20 overs. Jadeja top scored with 62 not out of 28 balls. Harshal Patel took 3 wickets for RCB. RCB finished on 9 for 122 from their 20 overs. Padikal top scored with 34 off 15 balls. And Jadeja took 3 wickets for the Chennai Super Kings. The Chennai Super Kings won by 69 runs, and Jadeja was named man of the match. What were some of the key moments and key factors from this match between the Chennai Super Kings and the Royal Challengers Bangalore? I thought Ravindra Jadeja's innings of 62 not out was the key factor in the Chennai Super Kings winning this match. He went on to score 62 not out off 28 balls, and he smashed 37 runs off the last over. He was dropped on 0 by Dan Christian, and that was a costly drop catch from Dan Christian. He was on 0 then, Jadeja. If RCB got that wicket, it would have been a lot different. But he went on to get 62 not out, smash 37 runs off the last over to get the Chennai Super Kings up to 191, which in the end was a match-winning score. And the other key factor in this match was the Chennai Super Kings bowling. They took wickets throughout the RCB innings, which slowed down their momentum and which led to CSK winning this match by 69 runs. Let's have a look at the Chennai Super Kings team performance in this match. We'll start with their batsmen. Gaikwad 33, Duplessis 50, Raina 24, Raidu 14, Jadeja 62 not out, and Dhoni 2 not out. I thought they batted really well in this game. The Chennai Super Kings, a very good score in the end, 191 on this Mumbai surface was a match-winning score. I thought Jadeja's innings was superb. What an innings from Jadeja, 62 not out. And you've got to remember, he was dropped by Dan Christian on 0. How costly of a drop catch was that from RCB and Dan Christian? Obviously, you don't mean to drop a catch. It happens. But it's not a good feeling when the guy you've dropped goes on to smash 62 not out, and Jadeja smashed 37 off the last over of CSK's innings, which proved to be costly in the end for RCB. Because if they got that wicket of Jadeja, it would have been a lot less they would have been chasing in terms of the run chase RCB. But for the Chennai Super Kings, that gave them momentum heading into their bowling innings, and they seized on that momentum and got the job done with the ball. Going back to Jadeja, outstanding performance from him with the bat, also with the ball, and in the field with that run out. How good of a cricketer he is. And he really adds that dynamic to this CSK team, because you've got a 1-in-3 cricketer, pretty much, Jadeja, and that's what he is, a 1-in-3 cricketer. He can bat, bowl, and field. And he really complements this CSK team quite well. And we saw today what he can do. So that's great signs for him and great signs for CSK going forward in this IPL. So I thought their batting overall was pretty good. CSK, good contributions from Duplessis with a half century. Gaikwad chipped in with a 30-odd, a 20-odd from Raina, and Raidu chipped in with 14 runs. So overall, their batting has been pretty good, CSK. We've seen in the first few matches from them in this IPL season, we've seen their batting get better and better each game. And that's good signs for CSK to see that gradual improvement as we progress. Their season thus far, CSK, has been pretty good. They had a bit of a blimp, obviously losing their first game, but since then they've played pretty well. So if they can work on that consistency and cohesion with this team in terms of their batting going forward, then we'll see a lot more improvement from them going forward for this IPL. So overall, their batting was good. Great to see their batsmen get some runs and starting to gel and looking to improve each and every game, which is good for them. Let's have a look at their bowlers. 3 wickets for Jadeja, 2 wickets for Tahir, a wicket each for Sam Curran and Thakur, no wickets for Bravo and Chahar. I thought their bowling today was quite good, CSK. They were able to take wickets at regular intervals. They got RCB 3 down for 65 inside 6.2 overs. So when you get a side 3 down just after the power play, obviously most teams would usually collapse and struggle. RCB did. They couldn't recover from that RCB because Chennai were bowling well, taking wickets at regular intervals. I thought the bowlers executed their plans well today. They executed their skills well. They had clear plans, they executed them and their skills. And pretty much all the bowlers contributed in some way in terms of saving runs, taking wickets, and just doing their role and job with this bowling attack. So that's good signs for CSK that their bowlers are starting to gel and starting to get wickets and get some consistency there. So overall, I thought their bowling was good from CSK today, and their batting was good as well. So overall, it was a great performance by CSK. The challenge for them now is to try and build on this and bounce back in the next game for them, trying to get better, look to improve, and hopefully for them, win many more games in this IPL season. Let's have a look at the Royal Challengers Bangalore's team performance in this match. We'll start with their batsmen. Curley 8, Padikal 34, Sundar 7, Maxwell 22, De Villiers 4, and Christian 1. Their batting was poor today, RCB. Probably their worst performance with the bat in this IPL season. Not their greatest batting display. Lost wickets at regular intervals. There were 1 for 44, then 2 for 54, then 3 for 65, 4 for 79, 5 for 81, 6 for 83, 7 for 89, 8 for 94, then 9 for 103. So it wasn't a great performance from RCB with the bat. Just struggled, really. Couldn't recover from the loss of wickets and couldn't chase down the runs in the end because they lost so many wickets up front, RCB, and when you lose too many wickets up front in a T20 innings, it's very hard to recover and get back from that. There were 5 down for 81 and then 6 for 83 and then 7 for 89, and pretty much the game was gone then, really, for RCB. To me, their batting today lacked a bit of momentum, lacked a bit of consistency, as we've seen from the previous games from RCB, because they've been pretty good with the bat in the last few games, RCB. Obviously, playing here at Mumbai, being a high-scoring ground, and the Chennai Super Kings bowlers pretty much bowled well, and they did not give them an inch, really. And RCB had no answers for that. So, to me, they looked a bit rushed, RCB. Didn't really take their time and get in and get set. A lot of rushness about their batting. None of them really took some time to get into the surface, get used to how the surface is playing, get used to the bowlers, and get set. They didn't do that, and they struggled, and wickets fell, and obviously new batsmen coming in, then another wicket falls, so it's very hard to keep that momentum. So for RCB, disappointing, and it's not a bad thing that RCB lost this game, and I'll tell you why. You may say, well, they lost this game quite badly. 69 runs is a big margin, and it is, but for RCB, they've done so well up until this point. It's very important in any tournament, in particular the IPL, it's very important not to peak too early. We see most teams peak too early, and before you know it, when you get to the back half of the IPL, for example, you get into the finals. I think we saw this with the Delhi Capitals. Played well up front, but then started to decline as we got to the back end of the IPL. And eventually they lost the final against Mumbai. That's what I'm talking about. You can't peak too early. And for RCB, it's good that they've had this loss and they've lost this way because it's made them realise, right, there are a few areas of our batting that are still a concern and we need to address that and we need to improve on that. What we saw today was that they didn't take their time, they rushed, they played reckless shots, RCB. And in the other games, we didn't see that from them. But in this game, for some reason, it happened. So it's good that they've lost this way because you can't win all the games. So you've got to have some losses in there to learn from that and grow as a team. For them, they did not bat well today. And knowing Kohli and Simon Kadich, they will definitely make sure the batsmen learn from this game going forward. And for RCB, no doubt they will be in the playoffs this year. Absolutely, they will be. But we know things can change quickly in the IPL. And for RCB, they need to learn from this as a batting group going forward and as a team, because it wasn't their greatest performance with the bat. So for them, it's just about learning from this, trying to get better, because Curley, Padikal, Maxwell, de Villiers are scoring runs, which is great. But some of the other batsmen who have come into the side today, Washington Sundar, for example, was promoted up to number 3. He hasn't had much of a hit in this IPL. Dan Christian hasn't been scoring the runs. So a few batsmen haven't been scoring the runs in the early games, whereas the others have. So it was a bit of mismatch in this innings, really, there. So for RCB, disappointing with the bat overall, wasn't their greatest performance. But as I said before, it's good that RCB had this sort of collapse with the bat, because it will make them reset, refocus, look at the areas to improve on going forward, and not get complacent with their batting. So overall, poor batting from RCB, but can get better. Let's talk about their bowling. Let's have a look at their bowlers. Harshal Patel took 3 wickets. A wicket for Chahal. No wickets for Sundar, Christian, Jamieson, Saini and Siraj. I thought their bowling today was a bit off, RCB, especially the last over. Their death bowling today was poor. They leaked runs, especially when Jadeja did his thing and smashed 37 off the last over. Obviously, it didn't help that Dan Christian dropped the catch. Obviously, you can't blame Dan Christian. Everyone drops a catch. And it's hard, especially when the guy you've dropped smashes 37 off the last over and smashes 62 not out himself. It's very hard to take. Obviously, for RCB, if they got him out, it would have been a lot less, I should say, they would have been chasing RCB. Instead of chasing 191, they could have chased a lot less than that if Jadeja was out. Unfortunately, he wasn't out. Those extra runs cost him, and especially the death overs, they leaked a little bit of runs there. Too many runs for their liking, and especially when Jadeja went off for his 37 off the last over. So there are some areas of concern for RCB. Their death bowling has been a bit of a weakness for them heading into this IPL. They've obviously done well at the death in the early games, but in this game, they struggled a bit there. So overall, their bowling was poor today, RCB, but they can get better and look to improve on this performance with the ball. Overall, it wasn't a great game from RCB, but obviously for them, it's just about trying to learn from this game and try and get better from this game. Let's have a look at the Chennai Super Kings' potential 11 for their next match against the Sunrisers Hyderabad. I don't think the Chennai Super Kings will make any changes for their next match against the Sunrisers Hyderabad. It's important for the Chennai Super Kings to keep that consistency and cohesion with this team, so I don't think they'll make any changes to their 11. So their potential 11 could be Gaikwad, Duplessis, Raina, Raidu, Jadeja, Dhoni, Bravo, Sam Curran, Thakur, Chahar and Tahir. Let's have a look at the Royal Challengers Bangalore's potential 11 for their next match against the Delhi Capitals. I don't think RCB will make any changes to their team for their next match against the Delhi Capitals. For RCB, I don't think they need to overreact and make massive changes following this loss against the Chennai Super Kings. For them, it's just about trying to keep the same 11 for the next match, trying to build that cohesion and consistency with the team going forward. So their potential 11 could be Kohli, Padikal, Sundar, Maxwell, de Villiers, Christian, Jamieson, Patel, Saini, Chahar and Siraj. What can we expect from both teams heading into their next match? We'll start with the Chennai Super Kings. Their next match is against the Sunrisers Hyderabad on Wednesday at Delhi. For the Chennai Super Kings, they go to the top of the IPL points table, equalled with RCB, but go to first place on net run rate. For the Chennai Super Kings, they need to keep building on from these performances and build that consistency going forward. RCB, their next game is against the Delhi Capitals on Tuesday at Ahmedabad. For RCB, they will learn a lot from this match against the Chennai Super Kings and will make them reset, refocus, and not get complacent and try to improve and get better as a team going forward. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get the latest episodes of the podcast, and like and share our Facebook page. Until next time, keep safe and bye for now.